There's no way that this stuff can be that simple. Well, if you watch to the end of the podcast, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The more and more that I study Proverbs, and we're in Proverbs 11 today, which is the corresponding proverb for the corresponding day, the more and more that I see that it's just that simple. My pop said 3 words to me when I was growing up, and I remember one time I was in a stressful situation. He's sitting in the pool. He's relaxing. He's peaceful. He's got all kind of joy around him, and I'm struggling to figure out how I'm going to make this situation work that I'm so stressed out about. He turns to me, and he just says 3 words. God's got you. And I didn't want to accept it at that time, although just because I didn't want to accept it didn't make it not the truth. It just delayed the blessing that was on the way. And so as I've gone through my life, I realized that those 3 simple words that my pops gave me were a blueprint for every situation in my life. And whether it be personally, professionally, spiritually, or financially, God's got you. No matter where you're at, if you're on the top of the mountaintop, you're in the greatest place you've ever been, or you're in the valley, and it's dark and it's nasty and you have no idea where you need to go, God's got you. Because on that mountaintop, the reason why he brought you there is to look around to see the valley that you get to choose to go down into to get some rest. And that way, when you rest and regenerate yourself, you'll have the power and the strength to be able to climb the next mountain, to be able to get to the next mountaintop, to be able to find the next valley. In all those areas, God's got you. And what I found is that even though I don't accept his truth at times, doesn't make it not truth. It doesn't impact the power of those words, the power of just being able to spend time with him. Well, if you watch until the end of the podcast, you'll see exactly why this stuff is mind-blowing, because it's so simple. My pops always told me that when you keep it simple, you keep people engaged. When you make it complicated, people have the tendency to step away. We try and make things complicated as humans because we want to keep ourselves important. But when we keep it simple, we realize that it's not us that is important. It's that getting people's focus on God that is where it needs to be. So why don't we get this party started?
Yeah. And this the vibe that raised us, made us, saved us. Love so strong that the hard times praised us. From base life roots to the freeway nights, we turn small rooms into launch pad flights. Yeah, this the vibe that raised us, made us, saved us. Love so strong that the hard times praised us. From base life roots to the freeway nights, we turn small rooms into launch pad flights. We begun surfing waves too low, made our own rules everywhere we go. Held tight to the truth that our parents declared. Anything is possible, the love stayed there. Now Rob's daughter ballin' on the end scene. Olay scene, Will's kids live dreams we never could have seen. This the vibe that raised us, made us, saved us. Love so strong that the hard times praised us. From base life roots to the freeway nights, we turn small rooms into launch pad flights.
How simple can things be? As I read in Proverbs 11 today, it was mind-blowing because as I sat down, I try and complicate things all the time, but it was just so simple. This time with God this morning, as I sat down, it's getting cold in Carlsbad too, so you can feel bad for me, or you can, well, when I say cold, it's probably in the 50s. The Carlsbad people, big shout out to you, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. 50 degrees for Carlsbad is like, I tell you, it's like an Arctic winter for us. But as I sat with God this morning, those 3 words were so big. God has got you. God's got you. And I remember the way that my pops would say it too. He would, boy, God's got you. Imagine if it was just that simple. Well, it's just that simple. It's not easy. It's simple. But I think the biggest challenge is us actually accepting it. And so just imagine this. Our peace is delayed when we don't accept truth. Imagine the time when you're stressed out, when your peace is gone, when it's not inside, like when you're not wrapped in peace and joy and love. Most of the time, it's because we haven't accepted the truth that God gave us. And so, like I was saying, if you watch to the end of the podcast, or even listen to the end of the podcast, as you go through, you'll see that he lays everything out. Proverbs 11 emphasizes that the 3 words that my pops delivered with frequency, most of the time, falls on deaf ears in our life, which is, God's got you. God's got you. And I want to encourage you, no matter where you're at. I said before, if you're on the mountaintop, get ready. Because if you're on the mountaintop, that mountaintop is so you can get a good view, figure out the valley you want to go into. And when you go into the valley and it's dark and it's dirty and it's nasty, that's where we need rest. But we need rest to be able to rejuvenate, to be able to get ourselves to the point where we could climb that next mountain. And I just want to encourage you in those things. And if this is their first time joining, my name is Kelly Cardenas. We have 3 different shows on this podcast. We have I interview some of the most iconic people in the world. I just got to interview the History Hunter, which is Craig Gottlieb. He was on Pawn Stars, over 90 episodes. He's a World War II expert. In the podcast studio the other night, we had over $500,000. That's a conservative. Of artifacts from history that changed the world. That was the last episode. You got to go check it out. Craig Gottlieb. This guy is amazing. But I get to sit down with some of the coolest people. Why? Because they're my friends. And why is that? Because I force them to be that way. I force those people to be my friends for the rest of their life. And my pops always said, you never know where someone's from. You never know where they're going. And you never know where you'll meet up with them again. So make a friend out of everybody. And I've ran around the world collecting friends. And it's incredible to see the blessings that come from that. I just got a call from my friend Natalie Richardson. She's got Lulu's Mexican food. Honestly, if you get a chance, it's in the Bay Area. The best Mexican food and the freshest Mexican food that you will ever experience. She sends it down to me, airmail. They pack it in and they do it the same day, and she'll send me down lunch from the Bay Area. But she just opened in Colorado, and she was telling me about it. It's Tia's Taqueria. If you haven't got a chance, you're in Colorado and you want the best Mexican food, I tell you, travel. Tia's Taqueria just opened, and we were talking about it, and I was talking to her about the power of podcasting. Now, I've got access to Natalie, which most people don't have. She's one of the top restaurateurs in the industry, but I get access, and she actually called me. She called me today. She was on her walk, and she just wanted to tell me about, the great blessings that are in her life and things like that. And we got to talk about the power of podcasting and how, a local business focus, focusing on the businesses all around you can be incredible, and how the podcast can turn into your social, and how the podcast can be something that where you really, truly connect with your audience. So I just want to thank all of you, because I got to tell her those things because all of you are tuning in. And if you haven't seen or if you haven't gone and experienced Lulu's Mexican food, if you live in the Bay Area, go. If you don't live in the Bay Area, go to the Bay Area just to have Lulu's Mexican food. And if you're in Colorado, it's in the Denver area, the greater Denver area, check out Tia's Taqueria. This place is unbelievable. Honestly, if you touch the food, it's curtains. Like you eat it for the rest of the time. Let's get back to Proverbs, though, because that's why we're here. It's Proverbs 11, and this emphasizes these 3 words: God's got you. And this is what I was talking about with Natalie too. And we've had these conversations when she's been building her business, building Tia's Taqueria or Lulu's Mexican food, or going through different challenges in business, all those things. My prayer to her and my, when we get a chance to talk, is that God's got you. Like, God's got you in every aspect, personally, professionally, spiritually, and financially. And this is the rundown of Proverbs 11. And I tell you, if you listen to all the way to the end, you'll see how simple this stuff is. But it's so simple that it's blown my mind. Because the 3 words that my pop said to me growing up, God's got you, are pretty much all you need. And if you ever have any questions, just go back to Proverbs 11, study it, and we'll break it down this way. So I annotated it for you. And if you could follow along in the Inchstones book, you could get that on Amazon. It's click the link in the bio. It's got a 3-month journal, and then it just asks you 3 questions. What verse hit your heart? What did it make you think about? And also, what action can you add to it today? And when I say that, I'm going to break down almost every verse. You don't have to do this, but it'll take you about 15 minutes for this practice. And I tell you, over the course of, a month, 90 days, it's amazing what can happen when you just repeat those words, those 3 words. God's got you. So in verse 1, it's just do the right thing. The right thing, how do we know what the right thing is? Well, the only way that we'll know what the right thing is at the right time is by spending time with God. Because he built you for this moment. He built this moment for you. So he built you for this moment. He built the moment. He put the two of you together. And you never know where someone's from. You never know where they're going. You never know where you'll meet up with them again. So make a friend out of everyone. And honestly, do that with every single moment. Because you never know. It's amazing because I have a speaking engagement that I'm doing for it's the Spec Institute. It's a hair school. It's a franchise, and these guys are phenomenal. They called me on my 50th birthday, or actually emailed me. But the reason why is because in right around 2001, there was a young lady that was in my audience in Provo. This was in 2001, and it took 24 years for her to get a job with this spec company and then say, hey, by the way, I think that because we need a keynote speaker, Kelly is the only choice. 24 years. You never know. So just do the right thing. And the way that we know how to do the right thing is just spend time with God, and then he'll tell us what to do at that time because God's got it. But allow him to work. In verse 2 is humility and wisdom will defeat pride that brings disgrace. See, pride, we talked about it in an earlier episode. I can't remember exactly which one, but think of this. Pride and ego, they're friends. And when they show up to the party, it never works out well. It never works out well. But most of the time, pride will bring disgrace. If you've ever been prideful about something, it'll bring disgrace in that situation. And I would warn you from it. But the opposite of this, the antithesis of it, the thing that can take it down is the humility and wisdom. Now, humility is understanding that God's got it, that you don't got it. And wisdom is the right use of knowledge. And that comes from the fear of God or the respect of God, which means that you just have to spend time with him. So if you just spend time with God today, I promise you, take 10 minutes today. Do it with Proverbs 11. Read Proverbs 11, and you'll see, again, by the time we finish this podcast, you're going to say, can it be that simple? Yes, it is. But he lays it all out in detail because he doesn't want to leave anything to chance. In verse 3 through 9, watch this. Integrity will guide you. Depend on God, not your own accomplishments. That's a big one. Do right. Doing right will protect you. Absolutely. Wisdom brings knowledge and will help you figure it out. Watch this. Wisdom is the right use of knowledge, which brings knowledge because there's no reason to have knowledge unless you have wisdom, which is the right use of it. And wisdom, all wisdom starts with the fear of God. See, that starts the wisdom cycle. Fear of God, which is the respect of God, spending time with him, seeing his words, his actions, seeing that they're in line. That will give way to you respecting God, right? Which is the fear of God. That's the beginning. He'll bring wisdom, which is the right use of knowledge. That wisdom will bring knowledge. That knowledge will bring understanding. Understanding will bring insight. Insight will bring discretion. Discretion will bring discernment. Discernment will bring discipline. Discipline will bring strength. And that strength will lead you right back to the place where you started in the first place, which was the respect of God or spending time with him. And to realize in all of that, in that wisdom cycle, that in the middle of it, God's got you. God's got you. And so in verse 10 and 11, integrity will be celebrated, but not always instantly. This is the hardest thing for me because when I do the right thing, I want to go, ta-da! I don't know if any of you, I'm sure that you've done something and you said, ta-da! I've done the laundry before. I've folded it and made sure that it didn't get moldy in the washer. Most guys do that. You guys, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You wash the clothes and then you just let them sit for a little bit and then they get kind of moldy. Then you have to wash them again. Or you do the great thing. You wash them, then you put them in the dryer and then you just leave them in there. Or you do the wash, you put them in the dryer, you put them in a basket so you could do more wash, and then they just get all wrinkled up. And then you have to press them all and it takes forever. But when I do all of it, when I wash it and then I dry it and then I fold it and it's nice and I put it away and then I look to my family and I go, ta-da! You know what? It doesn't get celebrated instantly. Sometimes you'll get celebrated instantly, but very, very seldom. But just know that doing the right thing is the reward itself. Blessings will abound. Blessings will abound when you have integrity, meaning that you are the same in the dark as you are in the light and that you're doing the right thing. In verse 12 through 9, being slow to speak brings fast blessing. This is one of the toughest things. Man, I tell you, I process in my head and in my ears so quickly. Like, I'm already looking to respond to something. I'm already looking for, like, oh, wow, I can fix that thing. I tell you, when you listen slow, when you listen fast and speak slow, when you speak very slow, when you think about your words, when you take and you have prudence, which is the thought of the future, as a man, it changes everything. Ladies, you know exactly what I'm talking about because you wish your man would do this. You wish that he would just slow down and not say the thing that is top of mind, unless you're filled up with wisdom. When you're filled up with wisdom, yeah, you could go, but I would suggest, like, slow to speak brings fast blessing. Speak life and listen. Speak life to people. Use their name. This is if you're thinking about it personally, professionally, spiritually, or financially, but let's go to business. If you're a leader, which all of us are a leader because we all have influence, the quickest way to be able to grow the business and build the business, see, you don't build the business, you actually build the people and allow the people to build the business. But the way that we build people is just speak life to them. Use their name and something specific that inspired you. And if you can tap into the silent sacrifices that people make, and what I mean by the silent sacrifices, my mom, growing up, we used to drive to Utah, and we used to like to stop at the Glass Pool Inn, or me and my brother did. But we would we would drive from Lompoc, California, and we would drive all the way to Utah. And in the middle was Las Vegas. We thought my mom was stopping in Vegas because we got to have fun at Circus Circus and all these things. And we would say, can we stay at the Glass Pool Inn? And it was our favorite thing in the world. But what my mom did, we knew her sacrifice because she worked like 16, 18 hours a day and a lot of times didn't fold out the bed. We had a one-bedroom apartment at the time. She didn't fold out the bed. She just slept on the couch because she didn't have enough energy when she got home. We knew the work part of it. But I realized the main ingredient and the second most important ingredient in silent sacrifice was her faith. Because you see, we stopped in Las Vegas not because she wanted us to play at Circus Circus, is because my mom didn't have enough money, and sometimes when it was with my dad, they would gamble to be able to get gas money to make it to Utah and then to be able to make it back. That's a silent sacrifice. Now, if I had my mom back, I would want to let her know of those things specifically. When you specifically speak life, when you use someone's name and something specific, that they've done a silent sacrifice, and all of you have. If you're a mom or you're a dad, you've stayed up late, you've come in early, you've done things that your kids don't even know about. If your kids were to use your name, hey mom, hey pops, just want to let you know that I thank you for X, and it's very specific, a silent sacrifice. I tell you, it lights people on fire. And that's how you can do it inside of your company. Recognize those silent sacrifices by speaking life to people. Use their name and something very, very specific that they've done. And what I would suggest is do it in private first, then do it in public, and then do it often. And when you start that, what starts to happen is you build the people, and then you give the people the freedom to be able to build the business. Just talking to my friend Will yesterday, and he was talking about that. He said, you know, he gives people the freedom. He gives them the challenge, like, here's the challenge. This is what we need to solve. But then he just says, go and solve it the way that you want it to, however you see fit, as long as it's in line with our culture. That gives people freedom and autonomy. And what starts to happen is they innovate. And when they innovate, they adapt immediately. And that creates such an incredible vibe because people feel great about those systems. So that's that little bit. But it's amazing because, again, this is all in Proverbs 11. Speak life and listen. Seek wise counsel. That's a simple one. Talk to people who are wiser than you. I've been spending time with Craig Gottlieb, the history hunter, and we're he's becoming, we haven't figured out the name for it, but the history correspondent on the podcast. And then we're going to bring on different artifacts, and he's going to freak me out every week because he does. Like this last week, earlier this week, we released an episode where he brought in 4 things, honestly, that changed the world. that changed the course of history. They were in the studio, over $500,000 worth of artifacts sitting right in front of me. And he's just like, this is this. You have to watch the episode. It's unbelievable. Seek wise counsel, work your land. Don't get caught up in comparison and what other people are doing. Kindness brings honor. If you want honor, you want a great name, be kind to people. And how do you be kind to people? Just contribute to them. In verse 20 and 21, doing right is never wrong and will bring blessing. That's a pretty simple one, right? And in Proverbs 11, again, it breaks all of this stuff down. I would invite you, anytime you have any question that God's got it, just go back to Proverbs 11 and it'll blow your mind. In verse 22 through 23, you're the greatest, so act accordingly. A lot of us never get to the first part, that we understand and know that we're the greatest. This was a thing that my pop said to me over and over again. Boy, you're the greatest. And then he added to it once my mom passed away. And he said, boy, you're the greatest. And then he said, so act accordingly. You see, that created a responsibility. If I knew that I was the greatest, first he had to pump me up for 40 some odd years to let me know that I was the greatest, because sometimes we don't believe those things. Just because it's truth and it's simple, like God's got you, a lot of times we don't believe it. But once we start to believe it, then it's time to act according to that truth. You're the greatest, 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 you're the greatest. Listen to that. Just put that on rewind, on scrub back, whatever it is, and do that every morning. You're the greatest, you're the greatest. That's what I heard every single morning from my pops and from my mom. You're the greatest, you're the greatest, you're the greatest. But then he gave me the charge and the responsibility, so act accordingly. And watch this. If first you establish that you're the greatest because God made you perfect exactly where you're at, and that he put you in the situation where you're at right now on purpose, with a purpose, and that God's got you, he's got the situation and he's got you, then act according to that. And let your testimony of your life and your actions and your attitude, and accept that peace because God's got you. And I just want to encourage you in that. In, in verse 24 through 26 is generosity wins. Gary Spellman is a huge example of this, and I have so many examples in my life. My buddy Will, my buddy Dale, my buddy Johnny, my buddy Dave, Alfred, Andy, my brother Rob, my wife, my kids. Generosity wins, I promise you. In verse 28 or 27 to 28, what you seek, you will find. And when you start to seek God, what'll happen is you'll find him. When you seek out challenging situations, you'll find him. When you seek out the fact that God has got you, guess what you'll find? You'll find that. It's the simplicity of it. Trust that God's got you. Trust, lean, submit, and he will make your path straight, right? Trust, lean, submit. To be able to trust, you have to believe. But to be able to believe, you have to see something that it said this thing and then it did this thing. That'll help you to be able to believe. Once you believe, then you can trust. Once you trust, then you can lean on that thing. And when you lean, then you can submit and just be free. And what God wants you to do is he wants you to trust, lean, and submit. He wants you to get to that point of submission where you allow him to do his thing. And that's when you realize those three words, God's got you. God's got you exactly where you're at. In verse 29, honor your family. Honor your family with every single thing that you possibly have. With your honor your kids, honor your wife, honor your husband, honor your parents, your aunts, your uncles. And I could tell you this is not in the word, but this is my own side of it. This is completely my side of it. Use respect when you're talking to people. When I say you use respect, call them Mr., call them Mrs. If it's your aunt, call her Aunt Judy or Aunt Pio or Aunt Dolores. If it's your uncle, call him Uncle Dan or Uncle Lou. Don't call people's parents by their first name. This is a thing that I tell you is a little, little soapbox from me. But show respect to all the people around you. There's nothing wrong with respect. I tell you, my father-in-law, when I first met him, or when we were hanging out, and I called him Mr. Dunn or something like that. He's like, I'm not Mr. Dunn, that's my dad. Call me Pat. I was like, nope. So I either call him Grandpa, I call him Master P, I call him whatever, but I'm not going to call him by his first name just out of respect. When you have respect for things, it unlocks and you show honor to them. So to the friends of my kids, ain't no kid of my friend of my no friend of my kids calling me by my first name. They always ask me, "Oh, what's your name?" My first name is Mister. It's Mr. Kelly, Mr. C, Mr. Cardenas, whatever it is, but you ain't calling me by my first name. That's just my soapbox. So let's finish it up today in verse 30 and 31. The fruit of doing the right thing, that's trusting that God's got you, is a tree of life, rooted in a firm foundation and reaching out to the heavens. See, God wants us to have our feet on the ground, but our head in the clouds. And if we have our feet on the ground, we have a firm foundation in him, but the head in the clouds, realizing that God has got you and that he owns it all. And he wants you to move towards greatness, the greatness that you were purposed to do. And how do we figure out our purpose? Spend time with God. He'll reveal that purpose. But most of the time, guys, it's not going to be some profound thing. Your gifts and your purpose is simply to take your gifts that God has given to you and then go give them away to every single person possible, and you'll start to see crazy things happen in your life. If you are ever in doubt that God's got you, just read Proverbs 11. Our only responsibility is to accept the truth. Don't worry, though. He is patient, and his truth won't change because you're stubborn. It will just delay your blessing, even when you're hard-headed. My pops' words still ring true. God's got you. Send this out to a friend today that needs to hear it, that's going through something. Or if you're going through something, I want you to know those 3 words, God's got you. And if you ever have any doubt, seriously, go back to Proverbs 11. It hits with the wisdom. And it's almost like it's crazy. It's almost like the little cheat code on Super Mario Brothers. When you would go up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start, and you would get a multitude of lives. Or you would get the secret level or whatever it was. It was a cheat code. Proverbs 11 is a cheat code to help you to understand the truth that God's got you. And just because you're stubborn or you're hard-headed or you don't want to accept it right now doesn't change that truth. He's patient. He's waiting on you. I hope you have a phenomenal day. Go speak life to somebody today. They need it. Have a wonderful day. My name is Kelly Cardenas, and I'm officially off the hot seat. Peace, love, and so.